So, with that being said, I'm going to bring up a group of people. We're going to have a conversation around what we call as entrepreneurial quality, as well as the opportunities for entrepreneurs in Africa. We've got some special guests here. So, I'm going to remove my slides and I'm going to bring back on Felix, Zach, and a couple of our guests here. How are you doing? Eunice, welcome to the conversation. We're so excited to have you join us. So, Eunice, please introduce yourself as we get going with this conversation.
Hi, everybody. My name is Eunice Nyandat, the founder of MBM Africa, where we accelerate African founders around the world. We recognize that African founders are the key to opening up the continent and sustaining the economies of the continent. And the only way we can accelerate them is having partners like Founders Life here working with us to make sure that the education, the connection, the networks that the African founders need to grow and accelerate their businesses is well connected, well put together, and they're supported. The ecosystem is growing, but we need more work done.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, by the way. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And MBM Africa, and we'll talk a little about that in a second. But what we want to do here, and you'll notice everyone down below, we have the title of this is, what is entrepreneurial quality and how do we help African startups succeed? So I want to start with that question is, what is entrepreneurial equality? What does that mean to you? So Eunice, let's start there. When we hear those words, entrepreneurial equality, and I know that a lot of the work that you do, what does that really, what do those words mean to you?
It's beginning from a playing field where you have the foundations that an entrepreneur would need to be able to succeed. Now, in the background of every entrepreneur is some idea, some passion, something they have in them that make them want to go into entrepreneurship. But if you have never seen an entrepreneur, you've never been anywhere where you sold something and been in an environment where you've actually transacted something, you have no idea what it takes to getting an idea or putting something to market. So how are you supposed to succeed, right? If your education system doesn't support you in that journey, or has never given you the foundations to get through to entrepreneurship and be able to get your idea into market, how are you supposed to successfully be an entrepreneur? So equality will be the foundation of education, having peers that you can look up to and talk to and network with so that you then have mirrors that you can replicate. I've seen so-and-so do this in leadership to build a team that then grows the company. I've seen this and this captain of industry do this because of this challenge he experienced in his industry to fix that issue. Or I have this innovative idea. If I do a combination of this, borrowing from captains of industry, what they've done prior, I can succeed. Those foundational stuff are what our African founders need. And we know entrepreneurship began in Africa. We've just lost our way a little bit. We just need to harness it back.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for that. All right, so let's go to Felix real quick. What do those words mean to you? When we talk about entrepreneurial quality, and especially, you being in Lagos, Nigeria, what do those words mean to you?
Yes, it's something that so much mean a lot to me in respect to, because after interacting with a lot of founders in the last 2-3 years of being a CEO of Founders Live Lagos, I've really got to understand that a lot of people come from the point of technical, sometimes they know how to do their products, sometimes the ideas are so clear to their head, but running a business is different from what they have gotten from a university degree or another. So, understanding that complex situation about trying to manage a lot of things. You don't just need to be an expert maybe in tech or need to have to code, but also you need to understand tax. Also need to understand corporate compliance. You need to understand strategy, marketing, sales. So it's really a lot of things. A lot of early entrepreneurs who just leaving school don't really even get up to 15%. So, and there's not that equality. It really don't get to have, place us in a situation, in a platform as to compete with maybe founders in Europe, or and in America. And an MBA here is quite expensive. Somebody leaving school wanting to jump in to understand how business is run. Getting an MBA is quite, something really out of the world. And for some of them who are trying to bootstrap and all that. So it's really something very important, and really something that we can find that, entrepreneurship equality is really at the heart of scaling, startups in Africa.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And Zach, you're fairly close there in Nigeria as well. Share with us a little bit of what those words mean and how you want to improve that.
Yeah, it's a great word, and one of the things I look at is trying to bring it to the African context, whereby you look at the African environment where a lot of Africans don't get jobs immediately after school, and they want to delve into entrepreneurship, so they become overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to approach it. They don't know what steps to take. So one of the things we can do and help them is, giving them the necessary resources, giving them the necessary opportunities, the networks, the necessary education that can actually amplify these ambient nature to them, because it's alien to them. Entrepreneurship is alien to majority of people until you delve into it. It's when you now delve into it that you become overwhelmed. Then you now be like, wow, there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of activities to be done. So what to me is giving them that opportunity, that level playing ground for them to be able to actually compete with the world in terms of being able to scale their business, improve their business, and bring their business to the top of whatever they want to achieve.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And um, you know, the reason, well, we created those two words and put them together. At least we put them together. I hadn't heard them before, really, because we saw as Founders Live was expanding around the world, we realized that it is important for us to have a stance on bringing opportunities for success for everyone. And here in the United States, equality can mean one thing, and then they're in either Nigeria or in Kenya or in Zimbabwe. Equality can mean something else. But what it does mean for Founders Live around the world is that it doesn't matter who you are, how you speak, how you identify. You deserve to be able to be successful and have the opportunities for that. And so that's what we do. That's what we stand for here with Founders Live. And that's what we're going to continue to do for the rest of our being around the world. But we're really excited about that. But what I want to do is actually bring up the question around, well, what opportunities, and I just shared that down below. How do we create more opportunities, especially in Africa? So we can answer this on maybe, things that you're seeing or things that you're working on to bring more opportunities for entrepreneurs. And let's start with Eunice. What do you think can be done, or what are you working on right now that can increase opportunities for entrepreneurs no matter where they live?
I think the continent recognizes the need for digital transformation. And the generation that is the highest at this point is the population that is highest right now is the youth. And the youth right now are, gosh, the most technical savvy that we've ever had. Despite gaps in education, they're embracing technology in the highest, the speed that's unfathomable, right? So digital transformation is going to be key because the way they consume goods and services will be digitally, and therefore our governments needs to step up and build those infrastructures to support the way that population is going to consume services or consume goods. That's in our healthcare. That's in the way we deliver groceries or food product, in the way we address food security, in the way we address everything, even our education. We know what COVID has done to the globe. What it's also done to Africa is that now 40 million Africans have dropped in the poverty rate. from where they were now, they're worse off, right? So think about the way they're going to be accessing healthcare. We have to think differently about it, right? So that's an opportunity. Food, how are we addressing food security? How are we addressing our diet? And that connects back to healthcare too. Education, what are we going to be teaching? How are we going to be learning? That's another opportunity. And considering the strides we've made with finance, fintech has taken off in Africa. It's in a digital platform, in a digital space. However, we still have to connect it back to all the ways we use when we consume in our lives so that it impacts everybody wherever they are in the village or in an urban environment. So opportunities are there galore. And then there are others we haven't even thought about, right? So data, which has been lagging behind in the continent, needs to be thought about because all that will bring this data where we'll have to figure out what to do with it and how to harness it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. There is a lot of improvement that needs to be made. But with you look at organizations like Founders Live or MBM Africa, taking the steps to provide the opportunities, the coaching, the education, the exposure, like we're doing, we're at least we're doing our part, right? And hopefully the telecom companies can continue to improve the connectivity so that everything can kind of come together. Well, let's go to Felix there. Felix, what sort of opportunities are you seeing in Lagos, or that you're excited about that the viewers should know about today?
Okay, in Lagos, it has been the COVID-19 has really taught us a lot of lessons and also provided and opened a lot of doors of opportunities, especially when it comes to localization. The supply chain was quite terrible during the COVID-19. A lot of people discovered how dependent we are, to the rest of the world, especially China, and a lot of things. So a lot of entrepreneurs are now looking at, oh, how do we kind of not just create that supply chain within Nigeria and Africa, but also to have that culture, because some of the products we all consume here don't kind of feel that have that interaction of culture, kind of something designed, and for a community or something tailored that we can easily relate. Some of them are really, alien and foreign, but we just have to consume because that's what available. But that has really opened a lot of opportunities for us to start going back and think of how we could also not just create and consume what we create, but also even we create to ship to the rest of the world because Africa has a lot of cultures, a lot of innovations, and all that. But we also need the world to also experience what we have to offer. So it's really a lot of opportunities. A lot of us are thinking the other way around, and then let the rest of the world experience what we don't have to deliver.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And Zach, what are you seeing in your area? What are you excited about? What do you want to share with the viewers around some new opportunities or things that we should be aware of?
Yeah, it's an amazing level of enthusiasm right now in Africa. Why? Because technology is bridging the gap. Technology is making things much more possible compared to 10, 15 years ago. And with the rate of us embracing technology, more startups are beginning to emerge, more organizations are beginning to embrace technology to actually improve things. And that was the reason I also co-founded my company called Edusys. It's an educational technology firm to bridge the gap between the traditional way of doing things and moving to the technology way of doing things. And I also want to emphasize that joining Founders Life is an important growth opportunity too, because it fosters an entrepreneurship community that helps you not be alone as an entrepreneur. Because the entrepreneurship journey is a very lonely journey. So you can't do it alone. You need help, you need support, you need that amazing coming together of your peers to share ideas, brainstorm on other opportunities, and see where you can go to make things happen for you. So that is where I see things happening. That's where I see things happening
Yeah,
for Africa.
yeah. Thank you. And it is, it can be a lonely road, everyone. So you want to join these groups. You want to, Founders Live for sure, but there's some, other organizations, obviously, things that Eunice has put together as well, and then other founder and entrepreneurial organizations. You just want to make sure you're around others and getting advice and all that. So speaking of advice, let's end with, because we have a few more minutes here. And Eunice, you've been doing this. You are from Africa, but you're also now here in the United States. How about share maybe just some advice on what would you suggest that early stage entrepreneurs, what would be one piece of advice that you want to leave them with to move forward with their business?
It, honestly, it's courage. Have the courage to venture out. Have the courage to talk to somebody and not be afraid to ask questions. I think our culture, and this is, I don't know about in Nigeria, but I know so in Kenya, we're afraid sometimes to ask for help, and you've got this brilliant idea and you're afraid somebody might steal it. Nobody can execute it like you can, because you know why you're solving that problem. Have the courage to go out and try and solve that problem. And, the I think of what Bezos did when he thought of selling books online. That just seemed outrageous at the time. Who was going to buy books online? Because we like to touch books and look at them and check them out and put them back on the shelf, and then look at what Amazon is now. From selling books online to now he sells pretty much everything, including trips to space, I think. So just begin. Have the courage to just begin and go out and try it. Yeah.
Just begin. Love that. And I'm putting that on there. Sorry, it's covering your face a little bit, but courage. Love
Yes.
that. Great job. All right, Felix, one piece of advice that you would give early stage entrepreneurs.
I think one of the things I also want is for them to actually step aside and also think clearly and of what they want to do, how what they are building will actually impact their lives and also impact the community, and also not really be willing to just take the take the journey alone. It's something I will also be ready to ask for help, and also whether as a team or also different communities, Founders Live, we are all here, and also a lot of other communities, that we can also build together, because, it's really, entrepreneurship is really a lonely journey, and it's sometimes a very weird journey sometimes. And so it's really need that we also sharing people's experience and understanding and even learning from other people's experience, and mistakes can actually do a lot of work. So just ask for help and also connect with other people, and you have a lot to learn.
Yeah, thank you. It can be a weird road, and my I don't know if I'm crazy or not. Maybe we're all crazy here that, as entrepreneurs, but I choose to have the strange path, because when you have a company, it's like this. You don't know what's around the next corner, and sometimes you got to figure it out. So Zach, last thoughts here before we're done. Some advice to the entrepreneurs that might be watching and they need your thoughts and words.
Well, I would say be able to take risks, be willing to persevere, and also be ready to be flexible when challenges come. I was reading a quote from Reid Hoffman, the guy that founded LinkedIn. He said entrepreneurship is like falling off a cliff and assembling an airplane while you are falling off the cliff. And
Yep.
I was really, really, it was very thoughtful. And I was like, this is the real, because you don't know what's going to happen. A law enforcement, a government rule can come and change your business dynamics. A lot of things can happen. So you have to be flexible. You have to be able to persevere. Most importantly, you have to be able to take risks. Elon Musk is where he is today because he was willing to take some amazing risks, and the majority of people thought he was crazy. And what Steve Jobs says the people that are crazy enough to think to change the world are the real people that actually do change it. So those are my advice.
Oh yeah, I love those quotes, and I'll share my answer to this question as well. As there's obviously many advice out there. There's many thoughts, but I definitely want to suggest the same thing and take risks. here's another quote from Jobs that I've always thought that's amazing, which he would say, look around, look around, like the chair you're sitting in, the table that you have in front of you, the house, like the roof that's over your head, was all a vision at one point in time, was a vision in someone's mind, and then they created it. So everything in our world is really started with a vision, and then someone had to take the risk to actually build it. And now we have chairs, and we have desks, and we have tables, and we have organizations like Founders Live. So you all here, the vision is so important, because maybe you're the only one in the entire world that has thought that way, that can bring something incredibly valuable, new, to the world. So that's what I would say is, take the risk, have that vision, and, get the help you need. Yeah. So, well, thank you all so much. Eunice, thank you for joining us. And where can people find more information? How do they learn about MBM Africa? Oh, you might be on mute. Are you there?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. mbmafrica.com.
All right. Perfect. We just shared that in the chat. So if you all want to check it out as well, you can check that out. And thank you so much. And Zach and Felix, we'll see you soon again here. We'll bring you back on stage here. But Eunice, thanks so much. And we really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you, Eunice.